I spent $500 on a modern Rompler and I was highly disappointed because this plugin requires a USB dongle for it to function. In a session, this plugin crashes my DAW like 2 to 3 times. I downloaded a plugin with around 1,352 sounds, and it is also an emulation of a synth from the 1988 era. And guess what? This plugin has not for once crashed my DAW. It costs me exactly $0. So the plugin I'm talking about is Nils K1v. Look at this, 968 single presets, 384 multis, all categorized, all searchable, all editable. And no, this isn't some sketchy torrent. This is a legitimate emulation of the Kawai K1, one of Japan's most underrated vintage synths. Let me put this in perspective. The Kawai K1 originally released in 1988 for around $695. That is $1,800 in today's money. This plugin doesn't just sample it, it emulates the entire 8-bit synthesis engine, 4 sources per voice, 256 waveforms, ring modulation, and auto bend, pianos, strings, brass, basses, pads, leads, drums, sound effects, entire categories of sounds that producers are paying $200 to $500 for in modern plugins. And here is what blew my mind. It can send and receive SysEx messages. You can use this as an editor for actual hardware or control it with external gear. So as we all know, everyone wants the analog ones right now. But here is the secret. The K1 wasn't analog. It was digital 8-bit PCM waveforms with digital filters. That limitation, that 8-bit crunch, is exactly what makes it cut through a modern mix. Listen to this bass. I mean, it is not clean, it's not perfect, it has character, right? That imperfection sits in a mix differently than these overly polished modern sounds. And this joystick, you can assign it to move between parameters in real time. MPE support, before MPE was even a thing. Okay, let's address the elephant in the room. How does this compare to something like Nexus or my $500 Rompler? I'm going to play you 3 sounds, one from K1v, one from paid plugin, and one from a hardware synth. So what you do now is to try to guess which one is which. That was K1v, Nexus, then hardware. The difference, K1v has more noise, more grit, but in a dense mix, that grit becomes presence because the modern stuff is too clean, and if you observe modern mixes, recent mixes, you see, they add a little bit of that dirtiness, that analog touch, alright? And when it comes to CPU usage, K1v uses around 0.3% per instance on my very simple backup laptop, which is HP Pavilion Core i5. So you can see it is lightweight when it has to do with CPU usage. But the paid one that I have, which is a Rompler, uses around 12%, and I can run 40 instances of K1v on my laptop comfortably. But when it comes to the paid one, I can't even run up to 3 instances of that one. so you can see clearly the difference. So, theory is great, but can you actually make modern music with 1988 sounds? I'm going to build a full trap beat using only K1v, focusing mainly on the drums, the bass, and few melodies effects. Please don't expect it to be super high-end, just for the demonstration. First, drums. The K1 has PCM waveforms including drum head. I'm layering a kick, snare, and hi-hat from 3 different K1v instances. So, you had it. It is not perfect, but it is good to go. And it is made entirely with free emulation of a 36-year-old synth. Tell me again why we need $500 plugin. I'm not saying you shouldn't go for it. I mean, there are expensive synth plugins that are superb, that are mind-blowing, that are amazing, all right? But in a situation where you cannot afford that, you have an alternative, so no excuses. Every single parameter from the original K1 is here, like the DAD/SR envelopes, 8 velocity curves, key scaling, ring modulation. I mean, you can build sounds from scratch or even building by modifying the presets. Now, if you own the actual K1 hardware, this plugin right here can edit it. If you don't worry, because it can also import SysEx banks from the vintage synths community. Thousands of free presets from the 80s and 90s. The joystick, as you can see, isn't just for show. Map it to filter cutoff and resonance, and you have performable wow-wow effects. Map it to pitch and modulation for unique vibrato, if that is what you're going for. So guys, who should download this immediately? If you are a beginner, this is your entire sound library for $0. If you're a pro, this is your secret weapon for character and grit. If you are into sound design, the editing depth is insane. So try it out. And if you already own Nexus or similar, I would advise you to keep them. Comment below what's the best free plugin you found this year. So if you found this video helpful, make sure to subscribe, turn on your bell notifications so that when I upload new videos you get notified. And let me know your thoughts about this plugin we just talked about in the comments below. So stay creative, stay focused, and bye for now.